nothing to dance about. It's nothing to laugh about. Your future was on the line because of your bad decisions. Now you should be ashamed of yourself, not sitting around dancing.
I didn't get a Mother's Day gift. He don't take no time. He don't put no thought into it. Well, I didn't know what to do, so whatever.
Is that why you do enjoy texting or talking to other men?
He criticizes everything I do.
Your Honor, when we were together, he didn't even take care of her.
Wow. Who pay your bills?
Every time a bill due, he would leave and go to Chicago.
And I'm a witness to
Like,
this.
I'll be like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do?
Ms. Adams is in full-on panic mode explaining her son's hot mess of a situation. He's piping in via satellite thanks to some sticky legal red tape, and he's teetering on the brink of getting slapped with cuffs for dodging child support payments. The goal? Prove he's not the baby daddy of Ms. Williams' kiddo to dodge jail time. Talk about drama.
Now your son, Mr. Adams, is joining us via satellite from Flint, Michigan, because he's been prohibited by law enforcement from leaving your home state. And you claim he's on the verge of being arrested for back child support, and you're both with us today to prove he's not the father of the defendant's 3-year-old son in an effort to keep him out of jail.
Mr. Adams spills the tea about his fling with Ms. Williams. Picture it, a wild house party, nothing serious, just some casual fun. You know, he pretty much says he figured she was trouble from the get-go. This is not your average bedtime story, folks.
Enlighten me on this situation. You were in a relationship with Ms. Williams?
No, I really wouldn't call it no relationship. You know, I met her at a house party. She tried to have sex with me on the first date, so that was a judge of character right there.
But you weren't in a committed relationship?
No, Your Honor.
Plot twist incoming. Ms. Williams throws a curveball, admitting she was playing the field when she got pregnant. Yup, no protection either, which really throws a wrench into the who's the daddy mystery. Mr. Adams and his mom must be breathing a small sigh of relief somewhere.
It was just an on and off thing?
Yeah, it was just an on and off thing.
So if it wasn't committed during that time, were you also sleeping with other men as well?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
Without using protection?
Yeah, it's a possibility. I never, said, oh, you are the father or you gonna take care of this baby or that.
And yet he's sitting now in Flint, Michigan.
Just when you think it can't get crazier, it does. Mr. Adams misses a court date because, get this, he's already behind bars for something else. Talk about bad timing. So the court just goes ahead and pins the father title on him by default. It's like missing a party and finding out you were elected president of the party while you were out.
Only due to the fact that I was incarcerated, so I didn't receive any court subpoenas, anything, Your Honor. I was incarcerated.
So you didn't show up that day. You were deemed the father by default. Ms. Adams?
Yes.
Tell me how you heard about all of this.
My daughter was kind of close to her. They worked together.
Things are heating up. Both parties go head to head, dishing out their struggles. Ms. Williams isn't just sitting pretty. She's hustling hard to turn her life and her child's future around. Hats off to her. But man, the tension is thicker than a bowl of oatmeal.
So you said it's not his.
Yes.
But you understand why this could then make her doubtful.
Yes, I do.
And she letting everybody babysit while she go to the strip club ain't doing her no good.
Again, first
and
off,
she didn't come get him for 2 days.
Listen, really?
Mr. Adams is putting up a fight, really doubting he's the dad. He's got some secondhand advice from his mama about Ms. Williams' chatter on potential other daddies. This family drama could give primetime soaps a run for their money.
She said it was a strong possibility.
You didn't believe that?
No.
Why?
She had already told me that the baby wasn't mine. Then she named the baby after her ex-boyfriend.
She says she told you it wasn't yours because he and her boyfriend had decided they were going to work it out between the two of them, but the baby wasn't his.
Oops, he did it again. Mr. Adams originally dodged a DNA test because he was nursing a killer hangover. Bad move, buddy. This little hiccup spirals into him being slapped with the dad label and a hefty bill for child support. It's like skipping a dentist appointment and ending up with a mouthful of cavities.
Asked you to take a DNA test.
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor. She did.
Why didn't you take it?
His excuse was he had a hangover. He couldn't get up. He was just basically being late.
My son was in jail.
No, this was before he had got locked up. I asked him twice.
He was in jail. I had
Adams.
the papers sent to jail to have the DNA test.
Grab your popcorn. It's climax time. Mr. Adams recounts the tale of his arrest over the unpaid child support, a direct sequel to missing that all-important DNA test. If his life were a movie, this would be the part where you can't look away, but you also want to yell at the screen.
Basically, I was walking to the store to get some cigarettes. Police just ran our name. I didn't even know I had a warrant, so I gave them my name proud, like, I'm Lassiter Adams. Come to find out, he come back to me like, oh, Mr. Adams, you got a warrant for child support. I'm like, what?
And how much time did you serve for this?
Like 10 days.
Here comes the big reveal. DNA results are in, and guess what?
It has been determined that Mr. Adams is not the father.
Take me off child support, baby.
Mr. Adams, you done come to the wrong courtroom clowning. It's nothing to dance about. It's nothing to laugh about. Your future was on the line because of your bad decisions. Now you should be ashamed of yourself, not sitting around dancing.
Mrs. Smith steps up to the plate in Judge Lake's courtroom, throwing a curveball about the paternity of her 4-month-old Lemon Tray, thanks to a little pregnancy math error. Hoping to finally pin down whether her ex or her current fiancé, Mr. Brooker, might be the daddy, she lays out her case. Just when you think you've seen it all, the plot thickens. Brace yourself for what's coming.
Ms. Smith, you are here in court today because you claim a miscalculation during your pregnancy has left you unsure about the paternity of your 4-month-old son, Lamontre. Now, today you hope to determine whether your ex-boyfriend or the defendant, Mr. Brooker, fathered your child.
This revelation is absolutely bonkers. Mrs. Smith dives into the soap opera of her life, mapping out her rocky romance timeline with her ex-boyfriend and the entrance of Mr. Brooker. From birthday party invites to a whirlwind fling that might have started the whole baby drama, she spills all the tea. Trust me, you'll want to stick around because the juicy details just keep coming.
A couple of weeks later, next month in September, I felt like sick, so I decided to take a pregnancy test.
Okay.
And so it came back positive. So the next day, I actually went to the doctor and I confirmed it, and that's when they gave me my due date of April 9th.
Okay, so now, Mr. Brooker, is that an accurate account?
Well, yes, ma'am.
What an emotional roller coaster. Here comes Mr. Brooker, dealing his own hand with some paternity doubts after a pregnancy timeline mix-up revealed the baby might not be his after all. His recount of their tear-jerking chats about who the potential papas could be adds another layer to this tangled tale. Hang on to your hats because there are more twists ahead.
She was in her car at that time, and I was home. She sent me a text saying it was important and she needed to talk to me. And I was like, okay. I'm laying down, and she said, I just went to the doctor and I found out I was 6 weeks instead of 8. And I'm like, my heart dropped. I was like, oh my God. I was like, okay, cool. All right. So we got him in person. We talked about it. She said it may be a possibility.
The tension builds further as Ms. Smith lays out her medical mystery tour of doctor visits and due date mix-ups that have everyone scratching their heads. Armed with a calendar, she tries to piece together the puzzling timeline of her baby-making saga. Don't go anywhere. The next part of this plot is even more of a brain teaser.
Well, the thing is, I went to 3 different doctors. The first one I went to, and they told me, well, yeah, you're about 8 or 9 weeks pregnant, and they did it by heart. So that led back to my ex. That next week, I went and I got a blood test done, and they said that just about the same thing, 8 or 9 weeks, and my due date was April 9th.
And that's the reason we're here.
Here comes Dr. Jamila Gator, dropping knowledge bombs like it's hot. This family medicine guru steps into the courtroom spotlight to school everyone on how those initial pregnancy estimates can take a left turn when the ultrasound tech gets a peek. Seems like Mr. Brooker might be in the running for daddy after all. The next reveal is just around the corner, and it's a doozy.
Have you reviewed the paperwork we submitted to you and her evidence?
Yes, I've reviewed the medical records.
Can you hold up the calendar so we can understand this? Thank you. So, Dr. Gator, as you can see, on July 17th is the last time Ms. Smith was intimate with her ex. Now, August 14th was when she was intimate with Mr. Brooker.
Correct.
First due date she got was April 9th.
Yes, correct.
Grab the tissues, folks. Mr. Brooker gets real about his roller coaster of emotions for Mrs. Smith and little Lamontre. He talks about his bond with the tot and his pledge to stick around no matter what the DNA says. It's getting emotional in here, and just when you think you've caught your breath, there's more heartfelt drama on the way.
That was a lot. And so because of this, Mr. Brooker, you had doubt.
I had doubts, I did, but at the same time, like I told her, through the time we were together, I actually ended up falling in love with her.
Oh,
regardless,
you did?
Yes, ma'am. Regardless whether the result came out if the baby was to be mine or not, I was gonna be there. I even gave him my name.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Hold on to your seats. This is a nail-biter. In a heart-stopping moment, Ms. Smith and Mr. Brooker confront the harsh reality of a DNA test done in the hospital hallway, showing Mr. Brooker has 0 chance of being the father. But like a champ, he vows to keep playing the dad role. Keep watching, because the climax is just up next, and it's going to be a shocker.
Yes, I was there when he did it.
Oh.
He wanted to do it, so I'm like, okay, because I was sure. I'm like, okay, he's the father, I want to let him do it. But the nurses was like, oh, we wouldn't advise you to do that. Wait till he's a little bit older.
So the nurses told, let me see that evidence, Jerome. So these are the results of your at-home test.
Yes, ma'am.
It says probability of paternity 0%. What did you think then?
That's still my baby.
You did?
Yes, ma'am.
You won't see this coming, promise. The courtroom holds its breath as Judge Lake delivers the bombshell DNA results.
Mr. Brooker, you are not his father. I'm sorry to have to deliver that news.
So, the curtains rise and boom, there's drama on stage. Mrs. Moon Merrifield strides into the court scene, dragging her somewhat bewildered husband, Mr. Merrifield, to prove once and for all that he's the daddy of their bouncing 20-month-old Kane. She's throwing accusations left and right, claiming Mr. Merrifield has been dodging daddy duties since day one due to a sneaky suspicion of infidelity. Strap in, folks. This ride's just starting.
Merrifield, you say your family is in jeopardy of being torn apart.
Yes, Your Honor.
You've dragged your husband, Mr. Merrifield, to paternity court to prove that he fathered your 20-month-old son, Kane.
Yes, Your
You
Honor.
claim he's been denying your son since birth.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Merrifield, you believe your wife cheated on you and has been lying about Kane's paternity, and now you say a divorce is next.
Yes, Your Honor.
Hold on to your hats because Mr. Merrifield's got a mic drop of his own. He's not just doubting he's the father, he's practically packing his bags, hinting at a divorce parade thanks to Mrs. Merrifield's supposed secret rendezvous and digital flirtations with other men. Oh, and he's not whispering about it either. The plot thickens, my friends.
You have the divorce papers already
Yes, ma'am.
filled out. They're just, what, awaiting execution?
I need to find out the answer if this is my child or not.
He always
Get
results
some
to
help.
that. Anytime we have a fight or an argument or whatever, it's always divorce. It's never work it out, let's talk, whatever. He always throws up divorce in my face like I'm supposed to just melt to my feet. And he always, just at the littlest thing, brings up divorce.
It's not a threat. It's, that's how I feel.
And just when you thought it couldn't get juicier, it does. Mr. Merrifield rolls up his sleeves and dives deep into the social media rabbit hole, pulling out receipts of Mrs. Merrifield's online escapades. Yes, he has evidence of her chatting up other gents, lighting up his fuse, and turning their marital boat into the Titanic. Grab your popcorn. This is getting good.
You text this man.
Yes.
And you say, are you messing with my wife?
Yeah.
And he says, hey, bro, don't nobody want your wife. I'm far from it. And I'm not about to be arguing with you. You need to be with your wife instead of acting like a clown. And so what you
He
have...
acts
And
crazy.
look at the number that's on there. Call log on how much they're talking. That's why I'm acting crazy.
I can
because
talk anybody I want to talk
all
to.
day
You
long,
talk
every
to
day when I'm
somebody.
doing
several calls to the same number.
back to back every minute.
Let's rewind and see how this mess started, shall we? We're taking a stroll down memory lane, back to the high school sweetheart saga that's had more offs than ons. Post 18, Mrs. Merrifield wanted to explore, which apparently didn't sit well with Mr. Merrifield, who's been nursing his insecurities ever since. Ah, young love, so complicated.
He was
Something
in junior.
like that?
He was in junior high. I was in
13.
high school.
I was 13. She was 14. I used to walk to school, pick up those little things that you blow, and you close your eyes and make a wish.
Yes.
I used to walk to school in 7th grade, and I used to see those and pick them up and wish like, oh, I love this girl. I wish I have a family and kids by this girl. And I used to wish for that all the time.
Really, Mr. Merrifield?
So we was together. The first 3 years was good, all the way up until 18. Once we turned 18, she started saying, I was her first boyfriend, first everything.
Now, Mr. Merrifield isn't just throwing shade, he's throwing the whole tree. He's dug up texts between his wife and a lineup of old flames, which has him questioning whether he's really the father or just a placeholder. The drama dial is cranked up to 11, folks.
Okay, the doubt that I have, the reason why I have doubt is I found her texting 3 different dudes. 3 of them she already slept with and she loves. There's her love. One of them is the love of her life. If she's texting these guys that they love each other, if she's texting these guys that they love each other, she's supposed to change her number. She changed her number and she starts emailing, I love you to him. I catch the email.
You're exaggerating.
I find the email.
Can you feel the heartbreak? Mr. Merrifield spills his guts, talking about how this whole saga is shredding his heart and twisting his melon. It's not just about the infidelities he perceives. It's about feeling like he's the last to know his own life's script. Cue the violins because this is getting tear-jerky.
He didn't even pay for the dinner for one. I had to tell them on my own that it was my birthday. I didn't get a Mother's Day gift. He don't take no time. He don't put no thought into it. Well, I didn't know what to do, so whatever.
That's why you do enjoy texting or talking to other men.
He criticizes everything I do.
Enter Nicole Andrew, the family referee, trying to make a touchdown in Team Merrifield's civil war. She's all in for Mrs. Merrifield, throwing shade back at Mr. Merrifield for his accusations and stirring up more trouble than a reality TV show. Oh, the humanity.
Since he was 14 years old, he still doesn't know how much I love him. He still thinks I try to come between them. I want my daughter to have her husband and her whole family together because she wasn't raised with her father. He thinks I'm against him. I'm for him. Always for him. I can't always be on his side because he's not always right. She's right sometimes and sometimes he's right.
Just when you think they might take a breath and chill, nope, they're back at it, dissecting each other's words like they're on an episode of CSI Marriage. They're bickering over how everyone's poking their noses into their business, unraveling their threads of trust. Spoiler alert, it's not pretty.
My doubts has to do with the situation.
He didn't start the denial denial
what we were
until the
going
text
through.
message.
Do you all realize that you're talking exactly at the same? Just let her finish. Go ahead, ma'am.
He was there through the whole thing. I had a 6-month-old son. I was at home 24/7, breastfeeding, being with my son. I had no time to go nowhere else. I'm not that type of woman.
Hold the phone. Here comes the big reveal. DNA test results are in.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Merrifield, you are Kane's father.
An apology, Devontae.
So here's a juicy bit. Miss Marsh and her mom are laying into Mr. Reed big time, accusing him of ditching his dad duties for their 1-year-old Tamari. The plot twist? He only bails when Miss Marsh turns down his rom-com style love advances. Mr. Reed fires back with a soap opera-worthy claim that Miss Marsh spilled the beans about him. Maybe not being Tamari's real dad, because apparently she's trying to snag him in a love net. Miss Marsh is having none of it, though. She's all like, moved on, buddy. Just pony up the cash for your kid. And that's just the appetizer, folks.
Ms. Marsh, you and your mom have demanded the defendant, Mr. Reed, appear in court today because you say he denies your 1-year-old daughter, Tamari, only when you deny his desire to have a relationship with you. Mr. Reed, you claim that Miss Marsh has confessed to you that you may not be Tamari's biological father, and you believe she's trying to trap you into a relationship with her.
Oh, and get this. Mr. Reed takes us back to the good old days when their love story was nothing but text messages and late-night chats because he was chilling in California while she was in Columbus, Ohio. He packed up his life and moved to Columbus for a gig, turning their virtual fling into an IRL thing. But wait, there's a catch. He's not too thrilled about her X-Files and the kiddos with other dudes. Hang on to your hats, this roller coaster's just getting started.
Where'd you meet?
We met in Columbus, Ohio, but I lived in California.
Okay.
I had just turned 18.
Okay, so you met in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah.
So you all started dating.
No. I flew back to California.
It was a long-distance relationship, Your Honor.
So you were in a long-distance relationship online.
Yes, Your Honor.
Hold on to your popcorn because Mr. Reed drops a bombshell in Missouri. He's married, and no, he wasn't kidding when he said he wanted 4 wives. Miss Marsh is stunned, feeling the ultimate betrayal when 2 women, including his actual wife, crash their cozy hotel meetup. Cue the dramatic music and slow-mo as Miss Marsh decides she's out. But folks, the drama doesn't end there. Stick around for the next scene.
2 women pop up at the hotel room, and he said, "This is my wife."
Your Honor,
and I said, "It's over."
What?
Your Honor, on the way.
Hold on.
I was planning on, I'm a Muslim, so I was planning on having 4 wives, and she
He's a fake Muslim. He's a wannabe Muslim.
Ms. Marsh, man you've been dating and seeing,
Is a
relocated to your town, says, we're dating, I want to take you on a vacation.
Yeah.
Grab your tissues. It's about to get real emotional. Miss Marsh is in court, tears streaming, giving us the full backstory of her roller coaster relationship with Mr. Reed since she was 18. It's like every season of every drama series rolled into one. He's crisscrossing states, promising her the moon while romancing others on the side. The big reveal? She's pregnant, and Mr. Reed's been playing the field. You'll need to see what's up next. It's a doozy.
And his mom was like, "I thought he told you that he wanted 4 wives." I said, "No, your son didn't tell me. He tricked me." So it's a different. I didn't know about no other wives until I got to St. Louis.
How could I trick a grown one?
Ms. Walker, was it your understanding Mr. Reed was your daughter's boyfriend at that time?
Yes. I didn't see the other side of him until she announced that she was pregnant. He came out to be a very nice, strong person.
Strap in for more courtroom chaos. The big question on everyone's minds: who's the daddy? Mr. Reed is skeptical thanks to some heated throwdowns where Miss Marsh hinted he might not be the father. But hold up, she says that was just her angry voice talking. The court's got this fancy conception date calculator that points right at Mr. Reed. As they untangle this baby daddy drama mixed with a side of deceit, the tension is thick. Don't go anywhere. The verdict is about to drop.
But this child, you say you have doubts.
Yes.
All right, Miss Marsh, what would you like to add?
Your Honor, when we were together, he didn't even take care of her.
Who pay your bills?
Every time a bill due, he would leave and go to Chicago.
No, and I'm a witness to
Like
this.
I'll be like, "Oh my gosh, what am I going to do?"
Your Honor, but they just said I threw the baby a party, so I threw him $2 grand.
But that was a whole year.
All right.
And here's the moment of truth, folks. Drum roll, please.
It's been determined by this court. Mr. Reed, you are not the father.
Now I feel like the goofy.